within the last 3 months, I'd say, is when I really decided, okay, I'm going to focus purposely in the local community and let people know I exist and that I'm here and I'm here for them. And I want to help their business be successful and sustainable in kind of a lower economic area. And when I did that, it really, I started getting a lot of interest from different people in our local area.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be another great one. Our guest is the owner of Bastion Bookkeeping, which is based in Fort Bragg, California, and she is a Pure Bookkeeping licensee. With her company, she strives to strengthen, preserve, and enrich the quality of service that is provided by small businesses. Megan Goodall, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on and share a little bit.
I just love how you are out there battling to build your business and sharing with, you've been sharing with me and our community about what's worked, what's not worked. And I just thought you'd be such a great person to have on the podcast to share your journey and, what's worked and what hasn't worked. And so we'll let the audience get to know you a bit and then get into the details of what you've been up to.
Great. Okay. Well, I am fairly new to being a business owner. So recently started up just at the beginning of the year, mostly with the purpose of having a desire to be home with my boys and still fulfill that internal need to give back and do something that I'm skilled at. So that's pretty much the reason why the business came to be. And in January, it became open to the public and I started putting the word out there. And just as you mentioned, I've been in the battlegrounds of trying to learn and master the skill of bookkeeping, to be an expert in it, to do it to the best of my ability, to provide the best service I can to every client I serve. And on top of that as well, managing the home life and the entrepreneurial world, whirlwind, I should say, of trying to market and push yourself outside of your comfort zone, all those things. So it's definitely been a wild experience.
Well, I'll say, hat is tipped to you. You're a person that's taking a risk, right? And it's for the betterment of I think the business community. And it's not an easy pathway, as we all know, and the listener knows. And it's great to hear the story. So let's hear a little bit about you. I actually read that you're a numbers, data, and charting geek. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, my past life career before having a family was in the behavior and analysis field. So I did a lot of data collection and evaluation and putting together all the puzzle pieces and missing information all through numbers. And I create charts and graphs and beautiful things for myself and others to look at and then explain those. And my past career, I fell in love with that experience of data collection and evaluating that and the puzzle that needed to be solved. So with that, this career change really complemented and really showed me that I can stay at home. I can do something that is really worthwhile and that benefits my local economy, benefits other local economies since I am a virtual bookkeeper, but then also still get that problem solving and puzzle making aspect of my personality that I love to use.
Beautiful. Well, that's a natural fit, I think, for the industry, which is awesome. And then you decided to get into business for yourself. Why did you choose bookkeeping?
That's a great question. I stumbled upon it recently. You actually had a gentleman that you interviewed, Ben Robinson, who has the Bookkeeper Business Launch, and I stumbled upon his educational program. And when I had done that, I evaluated whether or not this is something that I would be interested in. It's something I could do at home. And like I had mentioned just earlier, it involved numbers and finances. So it was a good challenge. And my husband and I talked about it and just decided, well, let's go ahead and learn about this. And if anything, my husband, he works within a family-owned business and will eventually be the sole owner of that business. So if anything, this will help in the future for me to come alongside him and support him. So once I'd gone through learning about bookkeeping and seeing how it really connected with my personality and my interests, and also learning that it can be a business and I can actually do this from home and I can fulfill all these little pieces of desires that I had and make it all whole. That's really what led me to it. And I talked to my husband and said, this is something I think I can really do. And I think I can do it well. And he's like, I agree. Let's go for it. And so that's the beginning of the journey.
Beautiful. So what's it been like so far?
It's been a roller coaster. So I'd say there are some days, weeks, months where I feel like an imposter just because this is a complete career shift for me, just feeling as though I don't really know what I'm doing, but I really want to know what I'm doing. So constantly seeking out support, which is why I connect in the Facebook communities a lot to try and soak up seasoned individuals in the field, try to soak up their information and their wisdom, as well as doing a lot of research and using the pure bookkeeping system to go through and find answers to what I need. So it's been a roller coaster. And then there's other times where I really feel like I'm on it and I got this, and I surprise myself thinking, I know what I'm doing. And that's such a rewarding sensation to feel confident in your abilities and not feel as though you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing next. So it's definitely been a roller coaster, and I'm loving it though. It's a fun roller coaster.
Yeah, you really point out what I believe to be one of the big enemies to the small business owner, and that's doing it alone. Is when you're doing it alone, you really limit yourself in terms of your ability to learn what works, but also on that psychological side of having confidence and the moral support to go out and to keep doing what you're doing and how to stay positive. And it sounds like you're staying positive by interacting with the Facebook group and with your family. I mean, you live in a family of small business owners, so that could be both a benefit and a constraint, I'm sure, at times. Mm-hmm. What's that been like now? You're building your business. What's it been like for your children?
That's a great question. So my children are very small, and it's a blessing, and then also that curse of wanting to make sure I don't neglect them in any way, but also a blessing in that I get to make my own schedule, and they get to grow up learning how to work within the boundaries of my work hours and that kind of thing. So right now I do share property with family, and so I do have the benefit of being able to schedule connect our schedules together so that my kids can go and spend time with the family while I focus on work for a chunk of time. So I have that going on, and that's been really good, but it is a balancing act, and it is a challenge at times. And I really soak up when I hear Debbie talk about her beginning stages of business right where I am, and also balancing life with kids and family. And I've talked to her about this in the past multiple times. And so it's always an evolving process, I should say. Every day does not look the same since my little ones are really small, but it seems like it's unfolding, and it's becoming what I want it to be. And I think as long as I keep in mind my perspective and the reason why I'm doing this, that I can really balance it to the way that I want it to be and have a successful business, as well as teach my children something super valuable about entrepreneurship, about finances because of being versed in that, and about, family unity and how that comes first at the same time.
Beautiful. And I think that's really cool that you can live on the same land as other family members. I mean, it kind of reminds me of going back to the basics, if you will. Pretty exciting there. So I've also had a look at your website and for your bookkeeping business, and I think it's incredible. Can you share the history of your website? How did it come to be about, and what were your learnings building it?
Oh gosh, I use Squarespace, and so they have a very templatized, options. So you can just pick one and kind of plug things in. And I found that as I was going through the template, I had other things I wanted. And so I turned to my husband, who's a technology versed individual, and he helped me a lot with my website in trying to make things the way I wanted it to be and make my website vision come to be. And so I appreciate that. I am by no means a graphic designer or website builder. And so I always, I really appreciate when people compliment my website, because I still feel that there's so much more that could be done to better it, especially when I look at other people's websites. But really, it was just following the steps in Squarespace and trying to think about how I wanted to present my brand and present myself, and all onto, screen. So between my husband and I, we were able to do that. That was great.
Beautiful. I think it's great. And I've seen a lot of websites for bookkeepers. And what I love about yours is just the instant call to action and a statement that a reader, who would be your ideal client, reads. It is a statement of benefit. Creating a thriving business through growth and profitability. Discover how I can help your business. Learn how. Beautiful. Simple. It's beautiful. It looks great. And I encourage all the listeners to go and have a look at a site that really is simple, well done. And what's so exciting is that in this day and age, it doesn't require $10,000 to build a site like this. 10 years ago, this site would have been a $10,000 site, in my opinion. So well done there. Megan, you've been out there, as we said, we started out, you're on the battleground, and I've watched some of your comments around your prospecting. Like you've had this was a post a couple of weeks ago, past 3 weeks, I've had 6 prospect conversations. 6 prospect conversations, that's great. You're out there getting there. Can you share what you've been up to get on to these conversations?
Yes. So alongside that roller coaster, I've adapted and changed my marketing techniques, and my as a new business owner, not being fully aware of who my target market is, and really trying to unfold that and embrace that. So I have just been I dabble here and I focus a lot in one area, meaning like LinkedIn I was focusing on for a long time, and obtained a client from that, but really felt that there was a piece of me missing where I really wanted to impact more local economy. And that spark, I believe, rooted from my initial stumbling upon the Successful Bookkeeper podcast, which I listen to every time it comes out.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm a big fan. And the Pure Bookkeeping system, really focusing on the local individuals and business owners and not neglecting them. And so I really decided that I wanted to focus in that area, and through collaboration with multiple people, including yourself and Debbie, and just doing more research via Facebook and the resources I have available to me at the Bookkeeper Business Launch and Pure Bookkeeping, coming together with some new marketing techniques to focus in the local area. And so I have been doing that, and that has actually boomed my business tremendously so far. So within the last 3 months, I'd say, is when I really decided, okay, I'm going to focus purposely in the local community and let people know I exist and that I'm here and I'm here for them. And I want to help their business be successful and sustainable in kind of a lower economic area. And when I did that, it really, I started getting a lot of interest from different people in our local area. So that's really my techniques as far as what I have been doing specifically. I focused on connecting more with the local chamber, with going to networking groups, and with connecting with a small business nonprofit that focuses on strengthening local businesses. And I'm teaching workshops through them, and I am trying to gain insight from them as well as how I can help other businesses. And they've been a big referral partner for me. And then also reaching out to the CPAs. And now that my name has gotten out there a little bit more, and I'm hearing people say, I heard of you through so-and-so, people I don't even know, who apparently have heard about me from other people or have looked at my website and came up with an idea of how they think I am based on the website. So then they refer me to somebody that they're having a discussion with about their business finances. So all of that together has kind of helped me increase my prospect connections. And that's been another roller coaster.
I am just, I'm just inspired by the story, and it's like the person at the side of the marathon, cheering, go, that's awesome, you're doing great. You just hitting all the notes here. You're out connecting with people in your community, and I've said in the past that I consider bookkeepers to be small business heroes. Now, my wife, she says, you can't call people heroes, and heroes are people who save lives, and these different things. And I say, no, a small business hero is different. You are a small business hero, and everyone listening, you are a small business hero. And why I say that is that there are owners of businesses out there that desperately need you, and they don't know that you exist. And so you're getting your superpower to be known in the community, and you're doing it something that I haven't heard that many people do it this well. You're at a nonprofit that helps small businesses and businesses in the community thrive. You're not just going there and saying, hey, I have a service. You're going down there, you're learning from them, but you're also providing experience and knowledge to them to help other people. I mean, it's like if we had Dr. Ivan Meisner, who created Business Networking International, he would be clapping and applauding, saying that is what we're talking about when we say givers gain. Think first of how you can help somebody else, and the value will be there, and people will find and work with you. So I just love it. I love the story. And I think today in our digital world that we live in, we think, oh, we got to be digital. We got to be, marketing ourselves all over the planet. When if we just stop and walk out our door, there's probably a handfuls of people that we can help right in our backyard, which is so exciting because that's really what's needed in our communities as well. And it's working, which is even more exciting. And I think it's encouragement for the listener. Get out there in your community. It doesn't need to be difficult. Just go out and meet people, say hello, provide service, provide value. Now, when you put up this post, you'd mentioned that, hey, I'm out there meeting with people, and my success rate isn't as high. You weren't converting these prospect meetings to the number of clients that you'd like, and it was low in your opinion. And there was a big, long conversation in our community. This was in the Pre-Bookkeeping Inner Circle community. What did you learn from that conversation, and how did it change? Because I see you posted yesterday that your conversions have gone way up.
Yes, when I posted that, I wanted to see where I am in line with other individuals that are in the race with me. And where I live, there's a certain platform that's used. QuickBooks Desktop is the primary platform that is used from a lot of business owners. And that's great. That's perfect. But as a virtual bookkeeper and somebody whose priority is being at home, I am limited to QuickBooks Online, which is not a limitation in any way, but it is for a lot of business owners locally. So I have to have this passion and this selling, if you will, to try and convert them to feel confident in me so that they'll transition over to QuickBooks Online, and letting them know that I am their biggest cheerleader and I am going to walk them through every step of the way. And so within the last, when I posted that particular post, within the last 3 weeks, I had 6 different prospect meetings. 2 of those I found were just not interested at all in converting over to QuickBooks Online. And it was an encouragement and a discouragement. An encouragement because I knew within the first few minutes of talking with the individual that they were not a good fit for me because of where my business direction is going and where they wanted to keep their business at. So I was encouraged in that I have confidence in myself to let go of a client instead of being in that whirlwind as a growing business owner of wanting to latch on to everybody and not let them go. Being okay with saying, okay, you're not a good fit for me. Let me find you somebody that would be a perfect fit for you. So Debbie had pointed out, because I was calculating in those 2, she had pointed out that you actually only had 4 prospects that were really interested in your services, right? Because they were interested in going with QuickBooks Online, and they were ready to sign on with you. So yes, out of those 4, now 2 of those has signed up, and 1 of them has committed to signing on at the beginning of the year. So has been encouraging to me to see that, okay, like Debbie mentioned, it starts off looking kind of dull, but then they trickle in because they start to stew on the words that you've said, the selling points that you've made, the value that you brought to them and you presented to them. They start to stew on that, and it really becomes an invaluable service to them. And they come back to you and say, you know what, I can't go with anybody else because there's nobody else in my community that's offering what you offer. So I want you to do it. And I don't care how much it costs, I will pay it. And so that's been really enlightening and a learning curve for me to realize to do what you say all the time in your podcast, you are valuable and you are worth it. So
I love it. I love it. It's interesting in that you said, I'm not a fit or you said they're not a fit for you, right? And that's something that everyone, I think there's power when you know what you want, you create a standard and you stand by it, you hold the line. And what happens when you do that, at first, it's the universe, if you will test you. Now, I say the universe, some people might not relate to that kind of language, but I don't know what other language to use, but it's like this test. We go through these tests in life. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get tested because the universe will test you. Are you really wanting this? How bad do you want this? And you will go through tests. I mean, there's no entrepreneur I've ever met that has not been tested. And it goes for everything in our lives. And so, but when you get really clear about what you want, you're able to say no. And no is powerful because that creates a space for yes. And so, whilst I think there's maybe a tweak on the language, is that everyone that's listening, let's look at it from the perspective is that we are not a fit for them because we're the ones that hold the standard. We're the ones that create what we want. And so therefore, we're not a fit for them because they need something else. You see how it's a shift from they're wrong to actually making them right. And it's perfect. And both people win. So I love that you've created the standard and that you're holding to it. You've decided that you want to have a business that gives you the freedom and flexibility to work from home so you can be around your family. There's going to be some sacrifices to that in business, but there's also going to be a lot of benefits, and you're holding the line on it. I love that. You're also, I think, working on your sales presentation. Now, what I want to highlight here is that we've talked about is that you're not just going and meeting with people. You've actually prepared. You've got a presentation. Can you tell a little bit about that and share with the listener about what it's like to actually have a deck. Because I know with the Pure Bookkeeping system, we provide you with a presentation deck that you go through, and Debbie's coached you a bit on getting your sales presentation down, and you've worked at that. Share a bit about that.
Yeah. So at the beginning, just like when you're learning anything, you kind of follow the template and it's a little bit shaky. And then as you grow and you get more comfortable, I've adapted it to my own style, to my own personality. And I do a little bit of recon on each business before I meet with them. And so I can bring that into the presentation as well. So any target points that they have, then I like to highlight that. So if they are somebody that's really big on customer service, then I like to make sure I touch on that with them. That's a big point that I like to bring a value to them as well, is to have strong customer service as an example. So yeah, it's been a learning process, and I feel like it's still unfolding, and I'm still getting more comfortable with it. I have to adapt it because I have changed things. I'm focusing on local. I'm meeting people in person, which changes the presentation. I also meet people via Zoom call through like a video conferencing. So I share my screen. And so the feel of that is a little bit different than it is when I'm in person. And I'm still learning learning how to do it best. It's unfolding, but it's definitely, I think for me, tailoring it to my own personality, my own speech has been a big benefit in how I sell myself or how I present the value that I bring to their business.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what it should look like. You should take something and you should first learn what someone else has done, and then you should recreate that and do it identically to that. And then the next step is to make it your own. And when you make it your own, you're actually now creating your own presentation, your own way of doing things. And that is beautiful. The key message here is that it just doesn't happen. It happens through taking steps, taking actions, practicing, learning, modifying what you're very early in, and you're already at a very high level of conversion rate. Your conversion rate's very good, and it's going to get better, and you're going to get more confidence. And with that confidence, your conversion rate will go up. You won't likely do anything. You'll say the same things, but yet your conversion rates will go up. You'll start to say less, and your conversion rate will go up. It's because people don't buy the words on the screen. They buy the delivery of the words on the screen. They buy that deep confidence, that deep beingness that you're being. You know, there's stats out there around communication, right? How much communication is verbal? It's very low. It's like 7% or some low number. And the other percentages, the 93% comes back to body language, tonality, just the delivery of how you're saying what you're saying. So practicing and getting comfortable with it, I just got to say, for everyone, and for you, Megan, great job. For everyone, don't get discouraged. The fact that you're doing it means you're one step closer to actually mastering it. And when you master this, when you get good at this, it becomes very easy, and you can sell anything. You can sell yourself, your business. You can sell change for your clients. What you're doing with QBD, QuickBooks Desktop, and wanting to convert them to QBO, that's selling. You have to sell people on this future, this new future that you are proposing to them. Now, you're doing it because you have what's that called? There's an incentive to you to do it because you want freedom and flexibility, but there's also a benefit to them. That's why it works, right? You know, and so just love it. And the message is for everyone is get out there, do it, prepare. Take the actions, stretch out of your comfort zone, which will lead to more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, you know, we're almost up on time. What would you say to the person that is like yourself, who's maybe getting started? What would be your recommendation to them?
My biggest recommendation, I think, it would be to make do something every day to make baby steps that push toward a bigger goal, or to prepare you for something that's outside of your comfort zone, as you just mentioned. But every day to be working a little bit on your business, not just in your business, and vice versa, to make sure you're working in your business so that you are bringing value to your clients and not overspending time on working on your business. And that's just because of my own personal challenges of trying to find that balance of working on my client books to bring value, and at the same time working on my marketing and my sales, which obviously is, as an introverted individual, that's a lot scarier for me to do. So going face to face with somebody and doing a presentation is a lot scarier than me putting together a website and throwing some content on there. So making baby steps and saying, okay, today I'm going to go and I'm going to branch out to somebody that is going to be able to support me. Like for my particular situation, it was a local nonprofit business that focuses on helping other businesses connect with them, get support from them, and at the same time bring value to them so you can bring value to their customers. And so that would be my biggest suggestion. Just push forward, make sure every day you're doing a little bit to move yourself towards your goal.
Beautiful. Well said. You're well on your way. It's exciting to see. We'll definitely check back with you in the future. And for the listener, if you are interested in creating a business of your dreams, to getting your business to the heights that you want to get it to, whether it's improving your productivity, whether it's increasing your profits, whether it's scaling your business to being able to have staff, whatever it is, we certainly want to get in touch with you. Reach out to us. Go to purebookkeeping.com. Connect with us. We'll share and help you understand how we can help you do the things that Megan's doing in her business. Megan is in an area that is a somewhat remote area, and yet you're growing your business. And what you didn't know was that all the clients you need are really just right under your nose in your local community. And still all those other people out there in the digital world are still there waiting for you, but you can get there so much more quickly when you just look outside your door. So what a great message today, Megan. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, where can people find out more about you? And if they want to connect with you and network with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Absolutely. I am everywhere. So you can find me, just go directly to my website, bastionbookkeeping.com. You can also look me up on LinkedIn, and we can connect on there, and as Megan Goodall. You can shoot me an email even. I'm happy to answer questions, or even just connect on a phone call for anybody that's in a mutual spot as myself and needs maybe accountability partnership or just needs some encouragement. I am happy to connect with other people because I need the same things. So you can email me, megan@bastionbookkeeping.com. Those are great ways to connect with me.
Beautiful. And we'll put all of those links into the show notes. If you're on your iPhone or podcast, if you just scroll down, you'll be able to see those links and click over to get where those are. Well, again, Megan, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
That wraps another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.